Hello, my fellow Americans and non-Americans, if you so happen to come across this video. There are many topics that we can, in fact, concern ourselves with in this video. However, the topic that I would like to discuss, particularly in this video, is the topic of why voters, specifically young voters in this case, have basically lost their entire faith in electoral politics. And in doing so, I would also like to discuss voter shaming as well as phrases like vote blue no matter who. And the reason that this was spurred was because of a recent decision from the Supreme Court. There was a leak of an opinion from the Supreme Court that basically gave us the information that they will be soon overturning Roe. And this caused an outcry amongst the liberals online and in the media and everywhere else that they reside. And essentially, the Democratic Party has been using this leaked information from the Supreme Court about Roe versus Wade as a marketing tool to get people to come out and vote for them. Because, of course, abortion rights is an issue that liberals and specifically Democrats at large care a lot about. And so they're pretty riled up in this moment. And of course, the Democratic Party are seizing on this moment, not to say, okay, look, we're going to codify Roe, not to say we're going to do everything in our power to pass legislation that gives women the right to an abortion. No, they're using this moment to beg for votes and saying that, hey, if you care about Roe, then vote blue in 2024 or in these 2022 midterm elections. That's literally all that they're saying. These very vague statements, just, hey, vote for us if you care about Roe. Not that we're going to do anything about it, but you should come out and vote for us. And I want to talk about that as well as the complete lack of faith that people, specifically young people, have in electoral politics these days. And as this Supreme Court news, the news that we got from the Supreme Court came out, we have seen many takes like this one.
If we're gonna sit around and wait for our elected lawmakers to protect us from these religious zealots and these right-wing authoritarians, man, we have another thing coming. How many times do we need to be disappointed by them? I'm done with them. And personally, I don't speak for everyone in this network. I wanna be clear, I'm speaking for myself. I'm done with them completely. The Democratic Party, every single one of them, that includes the squad, I don't care anymore. They have not delivered. They have not delivered. I'm done. Okay. It's time to organize, create organizations that get women and get people in this country what they need. People who are willing to pick up the slack for these disgusting, feckless, corrupt politicians. That's what we need to focus on.
Now, that was Miss Anna Kasparian, I believe, from the network TYT, the Young Turks. And she was basically espousing a sentiment that I had been seeing not just recently, but for quite some time now. A sentiment that I'm sure some of you may be able to relate to. And it's this loss of faith, as I said in the beginning, in electoral politics in general. And I've been seeing people online, liberals specifically, get mad and attack those. They are directing their ire at people like, here we go, Susan Sarandon, an actress that has no power whatsoever. And of course, many other independent thinkers, people that challenge the system, that have something of substance to say, and they're directing all of their ire and their angst at these people instead of challenging the leadership that has let them down so many times and will, of course, continue to do so, that being the insanely corrupted Democratic Party. And they're getting mad at people like Susan Sarandon and many others, of course, because, of course, they're challenging their dear leaders that they worship and receive nothing in return. It's a completely cucked out relationship. But they're upset because these people don't want to toe the line the same way that they do, and they don't submit themselves to this subservience of electoral politics that hasn't done anything for them. And that's the biggest thing, in my opinion, that we need to zero in on. This hasn't done anything for them. You know, when you hear liberals talk, or they don't even necessarily have to be a liberal, just people that have been around for quite some time, that have been following politics for quite some time, when you hear them speak, they always speak of these glory days, or, you know, the country was much better back then, or, you know, there was a time when things weren't this bad or difficult or whatever, in such disarray, or however you want to phrase it. But, you know, for some people, specifically young people, people in my age group, maybe older, maybe even a little bit younger, ever since they've gotten into politics, and I know this is true for myself, for a fact it is, ever since I've gotten into politics, I've started following politics, absolutely nothing positive has occurred as a result of electoral politics. And maybe absolutely positive isn't a correct statement. Nothing incredibly monumental that's positive has occurred as a result of electoral politics. And so it creates this disdain in relationship with our current political system. And it makes people like me, and of course many others, choose not to support it in political parties such as the Democrats, who are the quote-unquote better option, you know, just because, you know, we look at that and we go, well, how exactly are they the better option when they have been aiding and also enabling the deterioration of the working class and of the country in general? And so we reject it. And the liberals, the vote blue no matter who, the people that would rather vote shame you into oblivion, can't seem to understand the fact that there's an entire group of people that have seen no positive change under this system ever since they started paying attention or they got involved into politics. And then you have the people that have been paying attention for a while, that are a bit older, that have been around a bit longer, that have been completely let down and just left behind by this insanely corrupt and unfair system. And how do you deal with them? Well, obviously the liberals are telling us that they're dealing with them by telling them to vote blue no matter who, and to vote Democrat if you don't want the country to be shifted away into fascism. That's the only answer that they have. And it's an answer that's not sufficient. It's an answer that's not working. And until you attack the root of the problem, okay, instead of attacking people that have absolutely no power, that are only expressing their disdain with the system in the only way that they know how, you're not even going to begin to try and solve the problem. But see, they don't even seem to want to solve the problem. They seem very content, they being the liberals, the vote blue no matter who's, they seem extremely content with rooting for their team, even if their team is extremely bad and continues to lose, because it's their team versus the other team, and no matter how bad their team is, they'll root for them regardless. And that's pretty much it. That's all that they have to offer. And what bothers me the most about this is that there isn't even an acknowledgement that this system has let an entire group of people down and left them behind, and B, hasn't shown an entire generation any sort of positive change. And so people have nothing to believe in. And so this lack of faith in electoral politics, that's where it comes from. And this Supreme Court news, you know, with Roe and abortion issues and all of that, this is just another scheme that the Democratic Party is using to try and siphon more votes. And what are they going to do with those votes? Well, the same thing that they've always been doing and what they're currently doing, which is absolutely nothing.